Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to create this modern and vibrant church flyer using Canva. The dimensions are 1080 by 1400 pixel. Once that is up and ready, let's get to creating your design inside of Canva. You know me, I'm going to start off with a background. So we're going to start off with a gradient background. Love a gradient background. So I want to use a orange and brown ombre effect. And I'm just going to use my color picker to get another orange and bring it down to get that brown shade. And I'm going to realign these. I'm going to put the orange behind the brown so we have the brown in the center. Then I'm going to get my background image from my uploads. This is the image that I'll be using as the background, and I got it from Pinterest. Now let's add some minor edits to this image. So I'm going to select it and go to edit, adjust, and I'm going to adjust just a few areas. So the vibrancy could go up some more, the sharpness, the black, the contrast, the brightness, just a little bit, and we can work with what we have so far. Then I'm going to select this lock icon to lock it in position so I don't move it around accidentally. Now let's get some text to the design. So I want to say revival is here, but I'm going to start off with the revival text first, and I'm going to put this in Antonio. That's the name of the font, and it's a Canva font, and I'm going to do the extra bold. Then I'm going to ensure this is in the center, and I'm going to put all the letters in uppercase, and I'm going to increase the size of this to about 213 thereabout. So each time you resize or move, just ensure it is aligned based on the hierarchy or alignment that your design will be. Then I'm going to select it to go to the advanced settings, and I'm going to reduce the letter spacing by pulling the adjuster to the left. And you don't want the text the letters too close to each other because you still want it to be legible. Then I'm going to select the text and go to effects and add a drop shadow. Now, based on the intensity of these specific settings, it's all up to what you like. So I'm just going to play around with it until I see something that I'm okay with. And I'm going to leave it like this. Then I'm going to select T on my keyboard and I'm going to save, and I'm going to put these in lowercase, and I'm going to put it at the same size as the revival, the 213, but I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to use a font called Splatting. It's a Canva font and it's free. I'm going to use regular, and I'm going to change this to a red like this. And I'm going to go to effects and add a drop shadow to this as well. And again, do what you want with the settings and how intense, transparent you want things to be. That is all up to your liking. And I'm going to ensure this is center, and it is center. And I'm just going to group these for now. So let's zoom out and see what we're working with so far. Okay, not looking bad. Then I'm going to select T and I'm going to add some additional text. And for this, I want it in lowercase, but I want each of the main points or words to be in capital letter. All right. Then I'm going to change this to Poppins. I love Poppins. I'm a Poppins girly. So we can keep this at light. Let's see what light looks like. Let's put this at a regular for now. Then we are going to reduce the size of this, and then we're going to select the advanced settings for the text and increase the letter spacing. So we do this because the letter is smaller, the font is smaller, the size of the text is smaller. So you want to increase the letter spacing where it is legible. And I'm going to add a shadow behind this to lift it against the background. And it should have something like this, and ensure it's in the center as well. Okay, then I'm going to get my images. And guys, this is a really simple design. All right, so I'm going to get my images that I'll be using. Okay, so this is the first image that I'll be using, and I'm going to place it here. Now, I don't like the direction that he's facing because I'm going to add a additional image here. So I'm going to select it, go to flip and flip it horizontally. Then I'm going to, let me zoom in, and I'm going to increase the size of the image like this. Now that the image is adjusted to my liking, I'm going to add some edits. You know me. Like the image looks a bit flat to me against all this vibrant color. So let's revive it. So I'm going to select the image, go to edit and select adjust. And the adjust section, it's free. So I'm going to start off with the brightness, add a little contrast, not too much. The highlights, not too much. The shadows, not too much. The whites, not too much. The darker sections of the photo, not too much. Then I'm going to increase the vibrancy, the sharpness, the clarity, and the saturation just a little bit. And we should have something like this. Next, I'm going to select the image and go to shadow and select a drop shadow. And we can increase the intensity of the shadow and we can reduce the distance just a little bit. If you want, you can increase the blur or reduce the blur. It's all up to what you're looking for. And I'm going to leave it like that. Now we're going to add our second image. So this is our second image. So what I'm going to do, instead of removing the background, adjusting the color grading, what I'm going to do is select this image, select our copy style tool, and we're going to place it on top of the second image to copy the style or the edits that we've done to the first image onto this image. Now, if there's anything that looks off, you can then go in and make your little tweaks. And we have something like this, and I'm fine with how it looks. So I'm just going to leave it as it is, like this. Maybe we can bring these up just a little bit more. I'm going to put this in all caps and I'm going to bold it and I'm going to add a drop shadow to lift it from the background. I'm also going to reduce the line spacing and the letter spacing, and I'm going to position it right here. Also, I did create a logo for the church, so I'm just going to paste it in the design it right here. No, we're going to add some name tags to the person. And these are all fictional names. They're not these two main names. So I'm going to select R for a rectangle, but I don't want to use a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is select edit, ensure the square is selected. And I'm going to go on the see all, and I'm going to use this little shape right here. I'm going to change it to white. Then I'm going to bring the top down just a little bit, extend this just a little bit, and I'm going to increase the rounding just a little bit. And then I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to unbold it for now. And I'm going to say, change the color to black. And I'm going to position it on top right here. Then I'm going to increase the letter spacing because this is going to be very small. So we want it to be readable from a certain distance. Then I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to add name. And I'm going to reduce the letter spacing because we're going to put this in bold and we're going to increase the size as well. And we're going to change the color to red. And as you can see, we have a shadow on the text. So it looks a bit dazzling to the eye if you were to zoom in and look at it. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to remove that. And we can actually increase the letter spacing just a little bit more. So we can increase the text size just a little bit more. And if you want, you can add a little shadow to the icon as well. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and duplicate it and position it here, and I'm going to change this to black, and then I'm going to change this to white so the text is visible. I'm going to change this to white as well, and we're going to add this person's name like this. And for this, we're going to change the shadow to a black. I don't know why I changed from that. Then we're going to group these, and for this I'm going to slant this just a little bit, and I'm going to do the same for this. Now let's add some final touches. On the elements, I'm going to search for Ember. And on the graphics, I'm going to select this one right here. And I'm going to increase the size. And I'm going to position it behind the images. And I'm going to duplicate it and I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to position it right here. And I'm also going to ensure it is behind the text. And we should have something like this. This was pretty easy to create. We created this on TikTok Live. So if you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing, if you want to follow me, you can follow me on TikTok. I'm somewhat active over there. So you can follow me on TikTok. And again, thank you guys so much for always tuning in. Thank you for the support throughout the years. Until next time, stay safe and stay blessed.